I pray God will help me. Once again, we are welcome. Happy New Year to each and every one of us. So today, we'll be considering this topic, quantum leap, articulating the year 2026. And we'll just look at planning, purpose, and pursuits. So those are the 3 P's we'll be anchoring on for tonight's discussion. And in the course of that discussion, we'll be stepping into the future with vision, faith, and strategy. Next slide, please. So the purpose for this seminar it's just to give us an understanding of what a quantum leap is. I won't want to go into physics because we have a mixed multitude here. So I won't say anything science or physics, so that some people that are not science will not understand. But I just want to say that from a scientific perspective, quantum leap is a sudden exponential shift. A sudden exponential shift. It is not gradual, right? So it's not a gradual improvement, but it's a transformational change that happens like a bang. And if you look at the quotes I have here that says, quantum leap is the most exciting discovery of modern physics, and this was by Niels Bohr. Quantum leap is in a literal language, or in a layman's language, it's just what people will say, you don't blow. Let me put it that way, in a very layman language. But we'll be looking at this topic in context as professionals, business people, and as ministry people. So we'll look at also the spiritual perspective of the topic, quantum leap. People of faith, when I mean people of faith, Christians, even non-Christians, they believe that a quantum leap is a God orchestrated breakthrough, or a divinely orchestrated breakthrough that repositions a person from obscurity to relevance. I would like to say that quantum leap is not just for electrons in physics, but also for humans too. 2 of my sons, or 2 of my mentees, let me use the word mentees, let me not use sons. So my mentees, in the course of preparing this, it just occurred to me that they both experienced quantum leaps. One I would like to speak on, or I'd just like to share this testimony before I proceed, is the music sensation that is raving at the moment in the person of Nicki Odionka. Nicki Odionka is someone that started the year without knowing what the year had for him in 2025. And he got into the Nigerian Idol. And before you know what happened, he got a very, very massive followership on the social media space that attracted the governor and the wife. As we speak, he has a car. He's now an ambassador, someone that used to be an usher before. It now goes to the government house and all of that. So you can imagine you starting the year without having this in mind, but all of a sudden, that kind of experience is what you're experiencing. It's on a different platform as we speak. So it's just to talk about the energy shift, transformational shift that sometimes cannot be really explained. Now, another person I want to talk about is one of another mentee of mine who got married this year. It's a very funny story. When he was getting married, the father-in-law called me and said, "I know you're an elder of the church. Tell me the truth about this young man. Do you know him? And what do you know about him? Because I'm hearing some funny things." I said, "There's nothing funny about the young man. The young man is starting life, and he's not cajoling your daughter. The truth of the matter is he's starting life. So he may not have all in quotes that you may need. But I want to promise you that he's a hardworking person, and he's going to do well." People of God, this guy got married this year. The wife got put to bed in December 29th. As we speak, he's doing very, very well. He has bought 2 cars in one. When he got married, he didn't have a car. He has bought 2 cars in 2025. As we speak, he has 2 cars, changed apartments, and it's just like it's a wonder, even to me. There's a way you hear the testimony that it will look as if someone is lying to you, if not because you are very close. And so that's what quantum leap means. So when I got this topic, it didn't just occur to me that I've midwifed 2 people last year to this. So I thank God for that testimony. So let us proceed. Quantum leap is not just for electrons, as I said earlier on, but they are also for humans too. And why this matters is because it gives room to planning, and that planning gives direction. When you plan, it gives direction. It also gives birth to purpose. Purpose means meaning. Why am I doing what I'm doing? And the third reason why it matters is because it's pursuits which give momentum. So what is causing you to do what you're doing? So when we talk about pursuit, academic pursuit, business pursuit, whatever is driving, what's driving factor that will be able to sustain that momentum. So the objective for this seminar this evening is just to align personal and business and professional goals with divine strategies for 2026. For those of us that are non-Christians here, I know that this is a mixed multitude. We may have people from other faiths, Muslims, traditionalists, atheists, and all of that. I just want to beg you that if we speak something that has to do with the Christian faith, do not take it very personal, but just also link key into it, because business, I tell people, business is 98% spiritual. Whatever we do, so that's why people consult mediums and different things to be able to get navigation as they proceed. Please, next slide. So we'll be talking about planning for 2026. When you fail to plan, you've already planned to fail. And I would like this particular part to be a workshop. I would like you to bring out your paper and your pens and scribble some things with me, because I'm doing the same thing to here. I'm also a student in this webinar. Planning for 2026. What strategic vision do you have for 2026? I would like you to streamline your goals to just 3, so that it's something that is actionable and something that you can really correlate. So define 3 major goals for 2026 as a person. It's something that I want you to do. Is a workshop. It's a mini workshop, which will just take like 5 minutes. I'd like you to scribble down something. Sometimes when we have things in our minds, we tend to think we know what we are saying, but when you scribble something down, to an extent, it gives you a little bit of articulation. So I'd like you to scribble down 3 major goals for 2026 as a person. And the characteristic of these goals is that this goal must be measurable and time bound. So in other words, if there's something that you want to do, that is a goal that you think you cannot do, that is, for example, I want to go to the moon. That's not a goal, because it's not something measurable and time bound. So let us be a bit practical with our goals.
Where is Goyo?
So can we have that? Can we? I don't. If you have done that, I'd like you to put a thumbs up reaction, or you can also put it on the chat and say I've done mine, so that we're going to look into those goals and see how we're going to proceed. So write 3 major goals for 2026, and then we'll come back to that very soon. Just write it down. We're going to come back to that very, very soon. Okay, so we'll look at faith-based planning. Means commit your plans to God through prayer. Very, very important. Trust in divine timing, even when results delay. You see, these 2 points are things that I would like us to put down. Commit your plans to God, and trust divine timing, even when results delays. But I tell people something, that do you know that results cancels every insult? If there is an issue that insults you, what douses such issues are results, and nobody denies results. So people may not like you, but they may not be able to deny your results. So we'll just look at some action steps, which is very practical, which I would like us to look at. We wrote down 3 goals, I don't know whether these goals are academic or they are business or they are professional or they are personal goals or they are ministry goals. Whatever these goals are, is I would like you to look at those goals with a side eye. We're also going to look back into those goals. So, what are the action steps for if you can find yourself in the SME space? You look at the goods and services that you render. What is the scale of operation of goods and services? Very, very important. What's the scale of my operations? How am I how am I articulating my and scaling up my operations? We also look at how to improve branding, visibility of the product. How do you improve visibility of the product and improve branding? How do I automate the process? Very, very important here. How do I automate the process? Because whether you like it or not, when you are doing a small business, you find out that things may look as if you have it all figured out. But at some point, you find out that the business will grow beyond using notebooks. It may even grow beyond using your Excel sheets. And it will now need some level of automation in terms of your tagging, in terms of your invoicing, in terms of your all the parameters that may require for a thriving business. So it's something that we need to look at. So we also look at another sector here, which is agriculture. Agriculture may not be, if it's for those that are doing farm agriculture, we look at smart irrigation, mechanized farming, market access and model, or those that do husbandry, or whatever part of agricultural business you're doing, or you're doing sales, or you're doing you're improving or marketing for exports. Those are things that we still need to look at, practical things that you want to do in this year. Then for career people, so you have a career, you want to talk about your career growth, how you want to grow. For example, you want to do some certification, or you want to do some, you want to do an MBA. In the course of the introduction, I was introduced as a student of Obafemi Awolowo University. The testimonies that program finished last year, and I did last 2 years. And I did my convocation in December, so I'm done. I'm done and dusted with IFE on MBA levels. What they invited me for is for the DBA, which I said I would have to relax a bit and catch some bread before I pursue a further degree. You look at digital skills. What digital skills do I want to learn this new year? What are the digital skills am I looking at? A lot of digital skills. We're in the AI world now, and whether you like it or not, things are moving faster than you think. Even when I was interacting with my children, there are assignments and things that they do. So they do the assignment by themselves now, and they come up and give you some puzzles. I'm like, this was something I wanted to help you, but they figure things out easily. And it's gone beyond just doing assignments. It's gone beyond how to position yourself, how to make things that would have cost you a fortune. You see the way videos are being chunked out now. You see the way animations are being done now. I think people are bringing up ingenious strategies and displays in the marketplace. So for those that think that they are getting old, please, I would employ us to really look into this digital skills era, because that is the wave of the moment. Then for ministry, if you're in the ministries, if you're a minister, you talk about how the strategies of getting closer to God, developing your spiritual gifts which you have, and expansion of the word of God. Very, very important. Let's go to the next slide, please. Now, we'll be talking about purpose here. When we discussed earlier on, I told us that we'll be looking at 3 P's: planning, purpose, and pursuit. So let us we should talk about planning. Planning, you have talked about the strategy of what you want to do. Now we want to talk about purpose. Aligning with divine calling. It's very, very key. So many of us work in spaces that we are not supposed to work in. That's the gospel truth. And there's a prayer I always pray. I say, oh Lord, may I be at the right place at the right time. I would like to give you all this quote. If you want to get your allocation, you must be at the right location. You can write that down. It's not on the slide. That if you want to get your divine allocation, you must be at the right location. This is very, very key because so many times we may have divine instructions for us to do a certain thing. I'll share a testimony with us. As a young man, a young man graduated from school. He studied civil engineering. He had a first class. He has been looking for a job. He has been going around scouting for a job, but he was not opportunity to get one. And someday he ran into a classmate, and they got talking, and that one told him that there's an estate in their area, in their workplace that they're doing, that they want to sandfield the place. So the guy felt slighted that how can my classmates who copies my assignments in school then come to tell me this kind of thing. So he felt very bad, and he told him, he narrated this story to the mother, and the mother told him, my dear son, go and meet that young man. Even if it means you carrying headpans on your head, do that and gain a living. He reluctantly heeded to the mother's instruction. But on getting there, that was not the case. Now, the story here was he was supposed to partner with him to sandfield that place. So he was asked to go and do scouting. How much did it cost us to sandfield this mini estate? And it would take about almost 800 tippers of sand to sandfield that estate from estimation. So when you go to where they're selling sand, the people are laughing at him and say, how can this person buy sand? You're looking haggard, you know, it's someone that's trying to find his square roots. And those people were laughing at him, but somehow one of them gave him audience and he got some estimation, came to his friend, they discussed, they found money, they financed the project. As we speak, that young man is a sand merchant. He sells sand, he's a billionaire. None of it, I don't think any of his mates is on his level in terms of finance. He's a billionaire, multi-billionaire. He supplies sand to Kappa Dabeto. He supplies sand to Julius Berger. He supplies sand to top construction companies in this country. What does he do? He sells sand. If he starts talking about coarse aggregates, you know all these different types of sand and gravels here with you, you definitely give him the job because he's a first-class brain. Now you see how his quantum leap came from something that looked, you know, that's why the Bible says that the Lord uses the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. It was a very stupid thing for him to adhere to that kind of thing. But look at it today. So when they asked him, is he going to Harvard or going to anything, they were laughing. He said, Harvard what? And in short, he has a Harvard. In short, you give Harvard Business School a course, just the way our brother Ekekwe, an ex-photo alumni, you know, took one boy to Harvard. I'll give Harvard a course that people will pay thousands of dollars to learn. So you now see how aligning in divine calling can be. So we look at the case study here of Joseph. We won't be reading this. This is just for your personal consumption. But we'll look at what happened to Joseph. Joseph dreamed early. He was a dreamer. You know, we have to think and dream. What dreams do you have? The Bible says that on the last days I will pour my spirit upon all flesh, that your sons and daughters shall prophesy, your young men shall do what? That young men shall do what? They shall see visions. So what are you seeing? What are you dreaming? Your old men shall dream dreams. It's not only for the old I will dream dreams. What are you dreaming about? What are you saying? So Joseph was a dreamer. He had this dream, and we all know the story. He also prepared. He had to go through a preparation stage, which I call the school of hard knocks. Preparation. He prepared patiently. The school of hard knocks is something that some people are panicated, they are wounded, their egos are mended, they come out at the end of the day, they come out strong and tough and refined, and they pass through the mess, and God gives them a message that they take to their generation, and they become champions and trailblazers. So preparation is very key. You must prepare. When preparation makes an opportunity, it gives birth to success. So there's a level of preparation that you have to do to be able to get the desired results. Now, we're talking about reigned purposefully. Now, reigning means the staying power. After passing through the dreaming, and the preparation, he attained the desired results for his destiny, and he reigned a long time. You know, when there was famine, if you look at, you read that scripture, you find that he reigned, a long time. Now, I would like to look at in a Nigerian illustration, in the person of Mr. Tony Elumelu. I'm dressed the way I'm dressed because I attended a wedding today, and this is what I watched the wedding, and I met Mr. Tony Elumelu this evening at the wedding I attended, and I was like, how I wish this man knew that I was is on my slide already for today's discussion. Yes, so Mr. Tony Elumelu has Tony Elumelu Foundation. He has a foundation where he empowers African entrepreneurs. He gives a grant of $5,000 to applicants, young entrepreneurs that want to thrive in their businesses. So much he has been doing it for the past, I think, almost a decade now, and he has been empowering young Africans across Nigeria, across the Southern Sahara, Africa. And what does he do? The purpose is to drive empowerment. He's an African capitalist, and he's also has this driving factor, this driving desire to make sure that Africa is empowered. So you see that this, even though you may call this philanthropy. Philanthropy may be the word, but in the real sense of it, it's not really philanthropy. But it's also divinely guided, because on a good day, there are other billionaires in this country that they are using their money to do other things, throwing parties and doing other. But he has chosen to put a portion of his resources, to make sure that Africa is empowered. Thousands of African entrepreneurs are funded on an annual basis, and he has been doing this, as I said, for over a decade now. And wealth creation with impact. Now, his belief system is that if I empower a person, in a minute scale, I'm sure the person should be able to employ 2 or 3 people, and by so doing, you can imagine the multiply effect this will bring. So the lesson here is that when purpose is clear, obstacles become training grounds. When you have the purpose clear, when the purpose is clear, you know your purpose. What is my purpose? It's a question I'd like you to write down on your notes. What is my purpose? What is my purpose? So many times you always say, "Oh Lord, help me! I want a divine helper. I want a divine helper." Who have you decided to help this year? I'm sure some of us are not thinking about that. Who will be your own? Who will take you as their own divine helper? Whether you like it or not, the present situation you are is someone's testimony and someone's prayer point. So you need to also factor that out, and trust the process. I'll emphasize that again. Trust the process. There is a process. There's a process. Each and every one of us have our own different paths, and the way we are moved, the way we are wired, and the way things will work. Please, when you jump a class, something will betray you. It's just the gospel truth. Once you jump a class, you look at some people that they say they have double promotion, something will betray you. No matter how mature you are, and you go to a campus as a fresher, no matter how mature you look and dress, many things will betray you. You may ask, they may tell you, I beg, do you know obscure? And you say, what is obscure? Or do you know, there's some things that they just tell you that you making that you are just a novice here. So please trust the process and don't jump classes. Next slide, please. Now, if you look at the next slide, we're talking about the pursuits for excellence. Very, very important. The pursuits for excellence. The pursuits for excellence. Excellence cannot be overemphasized. It cannot be. It cannot be overemphasized. And here we'll talk about perseverance. Perseverance is very, very key, because in the course of pursuit, you would need to fold your sleeves. You will need to pass through something, but something may come as distractions in the course. So I would like to read this scripture, Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1 to 2. It says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that easily so entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Do you see that? Now, my call out here is, let us list out the hindrances. What are the hindrances? What are the obstacles that would deter you from pursuing with excellence? Some may be their comfort zone. Some may be their location. Some may be the people around you, your clique of friends. You know some reason. That's why there's a list. There's a line there that is outlined there for you to write down those things that you know. You know those things that would definitely slow you down. I call them tire lickers. Those things, you need to take them off the shelf and focus. Focus on your focus until you become a focus. I'll say that again. Focus on your focus until you become a focus. By fixing your eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and the perfecter of your faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross. So we are looking at focus here. So in course of your pursuit for excellence, there will be a lot of things that may come to distract you. Please, let's put those things aside and fold our sleeves and put our eyes on the goals that you have set in the other slide that we talked about. Those goals. What do I want to do? How do I want to go about this and all of that? In the course of pursuit for excellence, we'll look at innovation. We all need to leverage technology. This is not something that we can overemphasize. We are in a world where things are done smartly now. Things are very fast. It's a very fast-paced era and generation. So you have to leverage technology for almost everything. Technology cannot be overemphasized. And one thing about technology is that you can never get everything right. Have you sat down to think about, I was discussing with someone, and the person was telling me so many ideas that he had, but they all had a but. I told him that there's no idea that is 100% proof, including Bolt and Uber. And he said, how? I said, do you know the risk in taking a boat? Two strangers meet themselves for the first time. They enter a ride and they say they're going on this, and all the trust they have is on an app that can collapse at any time. So I say, okay, I want a ride. I put in my details. The person comes, he carries me. The person may carry me to somewhere else, and some of them even impersonates. That's a very big risk. But people are entering Uber and Bolt effortlessly, carelessly. And the funny thing about the Uber model is that they don't own anything. They only own the platform. The driver owns the vehicle is owned by someone. The passenger is another person. They only have a gateway for payments. And at the end of the day, both parties, they share profit and people move around. Let me shock you again. Another thing about technology that we don't know. How many of us know what Clovo and Chowdeck is doing? Clovo and Chowdeck is for the first time, they are the ones dictating to the restaurants how they should sell, how much they should sell, and the quantity they should sell. It's supposed to be the other way around. But now, because of technology, they are commanding and instructing the restaurant owners on how to do. That's why you see, if you look in Chicken Republic, for example, please, Chioma, can you mute your mic, please? You can imagine a Chicken Republic, for example. They dictate the price. Them Chicken Republic, you sell your food for 1.4. No, this food must be sold at 1,000 naira. I guarantee you 100,000 sales in 1 week. Let us do a promo, and they roll out. They have the network, they have the technology, and all of that. And they sometimes they surpass the target. Now, Clovo is not just making the money; they're empowering their riders, they're empowering the business, and they're also making money. So you see that there's an impact. So technology cannot be overemphasized. So this year, I would like each and every one of us to those areas that are giving us issues. Let us see how we can embrace technology to solve those problems. You never can tell. Your solution to your personal problem may be your quantum leap for 2026. So community impact, as I said, you build a business not only for profits, but to build people as well. When I see those global boys, the ones that are riding bicycles, the ones that are on bikes, the ones that are trekking, the ones that are on tricycles, I'm like, this is pure empowerment. Because on a good day, these boys would have been armed robbers, they would have been stealing phones, but they're engaged and they're happy to do it. And some of them, after some sales, we see some of them sitting down in the same restaurants that people send them errands on. They buy and eat very, very large. I used to sit and watch. There was a day I was watching one guy. He was analyzing with his friends, how sales went today, and he said, "My dear, make I service my body. This body don't work today." And I was like, you could see the joy, that fulfillment, of earning from your hard work. Yes, earning from your hard work. So it's very, very key. And in the course of community impact, we also look at how success, these businesses will translate to jobs, to mentorship, and to social change. So that's just the parameters that we look out for. We'll look, please, next slide. Let's look at biblical illustrations. Biblical illustrations. I would want to quickly, because of my time, we have to move very fast. Biblical illustrations. You see, the story of David and Goliath, there was just one stone. It was just one stone. It was just one faith-filled action. It was one giant leap that transformed, that brought down the Goliath. Some of us have Goliaths staring at us, that has insulted our lineage, our kindred for days, for years. But it just takes a stone. And what is that one stone? That one stone may just be the idea that you have, the idea that that will become your quantum leap. It requires one faith-filled action. So many times you say, I don't have someone, I need help. But help does not come from sitting down and lamenting. Help comes from, first of all, taking an action. Because it's in the focus of carrying a load that people see that is heavier than you, that someone will come and help you. You cannot sit down in your hand and fold your hands and say you want help. Nobody will come and help you. But if I see you carrying a bag of rice and it's almost breaking your neck, that's when I'll say, or I see you trying to push your car and there's a hold up, I can come and assist help. But if that car is sitting down somewhere in your garage and you want help for it to get full to start it, I'm telling you, that car will stay there and become obsolete. It should return to 505 of the 80s. So we need to look at that. One stone, which is one idea, one faith-filled action, and one giant leap, quantum leap that you need to take to move things forward. I'll look at another Bible illustration, which is Nehemiah. Nehemiah was in his comfort zone. He was already serving in the palace, but he had this vision and he got this vision of the ruins of Jerusalem, the walls of Jerusalem. And what happened? He had this vision and he conceived it in prayer. And what did he do? He took a strategy by telling his boss, see what I'm passing through. And the boss even gave him recommendation and the likes and all of that. That strategy was fantastic. He brought his people and they had an execution plan. As they were building, they had their arms in their waist. As they were building. Even when Sanballat and Tobias, which are very, very, very rampant, which I'm sure they will still come to you in this era. There are a lot of Sanballat and Tobias that will come and tell you this thing cannot work. This is this. But I tell people something like, because you have not tried, that thing that may not work may become the breakthrough that the world is. The Bible says that the earnest creation of this world, they waited for the manifestations of the sons of God. People are waiting for you to manifest. Stop hiding in your shell. That's just it. People are waiting for you to manifest. Stop hiding yourself. So the vision, he conceived the vision, he took up a strategy, and the walls of Jericho was built in record time. So there are a lot of things that we can do, but because we are not taking the action, that step of faith to do, that's why we are not getting the desired result. So let us look at contemporary illustrations. Next slide, please. Contemporary illustrations. There are illustrations in agriculture. We have seen a lot of recognition that has come up, food security and value chain. We have seen how people are repackaging food in dry forms. There have been a lot of export this last year. A lot of food exports to Europe and America is now becoming a trending business that people are really cashing out on coal and other things. So agriculture, there's a leap in agriculture. There's also tech leap, which I talked about. I would like to give another example about the Paystack. We all know how Paystack got their big leap. That even an American company came and bought over, and they're still buying over some startups like that. The tech space is booming, and it's still people are making giant strides in the tech space. Some people are even getting remote jobs. They're working from the home and earning in foreign exchange. Some of them people are even having 2 or 3 more jobs that are doing over in projects and all of that. So the tech, please embrace tech. So I've spoken something about Uber and Bolt. Let's leave that part. But the message we are just trying to say is that your idea may look small today, but carries global relevance. You can write this down. Your idea may look small today, but trust me, it carries global relevance. And there are a lot of things that are still unfolding. We may think we have seen a lot, but there are still many ingenious ideas that are yet to be vetted. And I'm sure yours is one of such. So I want to encourage everybody on this call to not take this lightly at all. So we'll look at the next slide, which is practical steps to your quantum leap. Practical steps. This is where I would dwell more on a bit. What are the practical steps to your quantum leap? First, prayer and reflection. Seek divine clarity. Very important. I work for some Quora, I'm gonna call it Quora, as in these Lebanese guys. I have them as clients, and something happened one day. I got there. They had just had a new marketing manager, and we were trying to talk about conversion, square feet to square meter. They were, since I also do printing, so we were trying to they do a lot of boss branding there. So I took the measurements and we are trying to convert. And the way I broke down the calculation, the guy asked me, I have not seen a smart Nigerian like this. Which school did you attend? I didn't understand. So what are you talking about? I said, this is something, but I didn't tell him my identity. I said, I don't understand. Are you seeing Nigerians at DOMS? He said no, that I taught him something different. That he had never calculated square feet and square meter in the way I've done. That he's so curious about it because you use calculator and all of that. But to cut the long story short, that action that I did granted us the opportunity to work for them. For the past 2 years, we've been working for the same company. We've branded over 200 vehicles for this company and still counting. So what are we saying here? You need to seek reflection, you need to pray and seek divine clarity. Which area do I work on? It's not every space you have to play. Like I said something about location. Some of us, there's a lady. I was reading, someone was giving, I didn't read about it. Someone told me that there's one woman that sells moi moi, that moi moi should be woman to White House. I was trying to factor how moi moi can take somebody to White House because it doesn't make sense to me. I said, they used to do moi moi. From that moi moi, they did, and before you know what happened, that moi moi started traveling, different requests, and somehow, the moi moi landed in White House one day. And I'm like, how? So that's, the same I'm asking how. That's the same way so many people have had some breakthroughs that they're asking how. So seek clarity and know what you are supposed to do, because you're not supposed to do everything. We'll now talk about the second practical step, which is vision casting. I told you to write about 3 goals, which we need to look at. Now, write your 2026 mission statement. What am I cut out for this year? This year, how many courses have I done? As we speak, I've done 2 courses already. As this January has commenced, I've already done 2 courses this month already. There's some areas I'm trying to work on myself. And immediately I did those courses. It was, as I said, there was a spiritual quake. Immediately I finished that course. 2 days after, I got a call from a client that I forgot about a long time ago. And that call is exactly what I just finished reading. I'm like, wow, this was pre-preparation for this task. And what we're talking about, starting the job, going to site to start the work. So you see, when you have your mission written out, I think writing out some things, so many of us have shortchanged ourselves by not writing out some things. We always say, write the vision and make it plain. But we always have it in our minds. We keep brooding over it in our thoughts. We have headaches unnecessarily on something that we would have been looking at, and it have given us a clearer perspective on how to go about it. Now, we'll talk about smarter goals. We are very used to what we call smart goals. I'll call mine smarter goals. You have been smart all this while, but I think it's time for you to be smarter. So many of us have been smart for a long time, but I think this 2026, we need to be smarter. And smart simply means specific, your goals, specific goals, maybe specific, make it measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. But the ER that is added to this, the E there is for expectation. expectation. The expectations of the righteous shall not be cut short. So many times we write some things, but we are not expectant. It go work or you know go work. Is it working? It's not working. If it's not working, I leave it. We are not expectant. We need to have this yearning, this yearning. We need to have this longing, this hunger, this anticipation. You know, it's are things that can herald some of these things. So we need to add that extra expectation in our goals. What are you expecting? I want to do X, Y, Z. Okay, if I do X, what would be the outcome of the X, Y, Z I'm about to do? So expectation, very, very key. We also look at resilience. Now, I thank God that most of us here on this call are Nigerians, maybe except for a few people that are not Nigerians here. The Nigerians are naturally resilient people. You know, never say die, nothing they happen. We go rough and jama. You know, you hear all sorts of slangs, which I like so much. And it has given us so much grit, so much tenacity, so much staying power, you know. And that resilience is what I call staying power. Staying power. Stay there. Especially when you have the conviction that that's where you're supposed to be. Stay there. If it doesn't be like that, is that one day that you're about to leave that focus? That's where the breakthrough will come. Stay there. Stay in power. Very important. Stay there. Especially when you know that this is your divine call. Stay there. Stay there. Because the truth of the matter is when the dividends will come, people will be asking how, but they will forget. Most of the time, people forget your school of hard knocks. You know, I was sharing with someone, and the person was asking me, how many things should you do, Seth? You say you be engineer, you say you be printer, you say you do sustainability. How many things you do? Jack of all trades. I told you, my own is not jack of all trades. I have three focus areas, and I'm building these three focus areas like never before. First of all, I went to Futu to study engineering. And in the course of being in Futu, I found myself doing printing and graphics. So I was running these two things right from a very, very tender age, you know, coming out from school and now, you know, coming out. So when you are like, I said, it's not a jack of all three things. And I started writing as a press coordinator on campus. I was writing. So my writing skills improved, you know, as an editor-in-chief, my writing skills improved. So I write reports, I do things. So these are collective skills that you've gathered over. Sometimes we tend to abandon some of these skill sets that we learned or we had earlier. Do not forsake your days of humble beginnings. Because some of those skills, some of us even have oratory skills. You could be MC. You could even do MC more than, you could even crack jokes even more than all these comedians that are out there and are making noise that don't even have jokes to crack. Some of us are very, very gifted. Don't downplay those things. You can still carry them along. So for the fact that you're a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer does not mean you not have your side hustles or your side gigs that you do, you know. But the giftings that the Bible said the gift of the Lord makes way, you know, for you. So your gift is something that makes you. So you don't assume, oh, of course I'm an engineer. It's only engineer. You need to see, because you never can tell that the breakthrough may even come from something very, very, very irrelevant to you, in quotes, that may become the joker. Now, let us look at another point, which is point 4. I call accountability partner. Don't journey alone. That's where most of us miss it. We miss it here. Because when your staying power fades out and fizzles out, what happens to you is that you start nosediving and deteriorating. And when you are going alone, nobody to help you. Just imagine you going, okay, let me share a story with us. When I was about to go offshore for a project, and when we were doing our budget, you know, there's a guy that said he can swim very well and all of that. So, you know, when you're doing that budget stuff, that's underwater simulation that they take capsize twice. The guy, I don't know what the guy did, but the guy could not open the strap, the helicopter strap on his waist. The guy almost drowned in that water. He was too confident that he's a swimmer. But there was no accountability. But now, thank God for the facility that we did that, that they had divers that it took them about 10 seconds before they knew that one person was still there. And they had to go and rescue him from that place. Just imagine if he was alone in that place. What would have happened to him? That would have been a loner, would have been a goner. So don't be like Liverpool, never walk alone. Liverpool, they never walk. Even though I'm not a Liverpool fan, I'm an Arsenal fan. Liverpool tell you never walk alone, never walk alone. So you just have to have an accountability partner, someone that you can tell, bros, I they do one like this, they work. Accountability partner may be a mentor, it may be a friend, it may be your spouse, it may be, but just talk to somebody, and let someone know what you're doing. And by so doing, if you are missing steps, your steps may be redirected. Then finally, review and adjust. You can have a monthly progress tracker whereby you look at how did I fare this month? Am I doing well? Do I need to fine tune something and all of that? So as a tactical master, you don't just rely just on what the blueprints you have. Blueprints can be modified. I'll say that again. Blueprints can be modified. So even if you are a strategist, a scrum master, or whatever you are, you can review, you can adjust. It may not be monthly, it may be quarterly, it may be biannually, but it can be reviewed. Like I will tell people, matches are won in the second half. Matches are won in the second half. So you may score 4-0 in the first half, and come second half, those 4 zeros will be equalized. So matches are won in the second half. So you need to see in different stages, see how things are reviewing. Look at your jokers, see your strong points, analyze, articulate, revise, regurgitate it, put it back together, and you see yourself having a winning. So you can have 2 or 3 different winning strategies and interplay them as the season, as you grow older in your field or in your chosen career. You tend to know how to understand the trend. As they say, what an elder will sit down and see. For someone, a young man start from the local tree cannot see. So by so doing, it's a result of experience, and experience. There's like the local parlance say, experience. There is selling for market. Experience is end. So in conclusion, I would like to say that great leaps and giant leaps begin with small, faithful steps. Great leaps. I say great leaps. They do what? They begin with small, faithful steps. But those that want quantum leap is not a jump. It's a transformational acceleration. I'll say that again. Quantum leap is not a jump. It's a transformational acceleration. So you need to show up daily, walk, unwalk, rewalk. And I would like to say this: write down one quantum leap you must accomplish 2026. There's a key that I illustrated here. That key for you to unlock that quantum leap, you must commit it to God today. So on this note, I think I've come to the end of my presentation. I'll be open for questions, reflections, testimonies, and answers. Thank you very much for inviting me for this webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please, could we please appreciate our speaker for the night? Please, Engineer Asimita, please, if you could please appreciate him. Thank you. Okay, probably that was an error also.
It was an error.
Okay, no problem. All right, it's noted. Thank you. Let me read what we have in the chat box. Engineer Williams, thank you very much for your presentation. Where does one draw the line between resilience and changing course? Wonderful. This is a very good question. Okay.
That's very deep. That's very deep.
Yeah. In fact, it's not yet finished. Let me finish this. It said sometimes one may be resilient in a course and it seems not to work. I wish you well this year as an Asana fan, even though I am not one. This is from Apabot. Okay. All right. So maybe you can attend to your questions. Please continue to put your questions in the chat box, please. Okay.
So it takes a very, very resilient person to be an Arsenal fan. That's the gospel truth. Okay, let's leave football and let's be serious here. That question you just asked is very, very deep. Why am I saying it's deep? It's deep because so many times we may be resilient in the wrong direction. You are looking at something and there's a roadblock, and you try everything day and night, and you look and say, what am I not doing right? I've done all I'm supposed to do. I've fasted, I've prayed, I've done networking, I've done courses and everything. I've done all manner of things, but still things are not. And that may just be a course that you need to change direction. Now, how do you know when to change direction? Or do you know that this question you just asked me now, you may be at the verge of breaking point, of a breaking point. You may be at the verge, and you may be at the verge, at that verge, and just that last infinitesimal, according to physics, time that would just be the changer, the game changer for you. So in as much as you get to that crossroad, I'll definitely tell you two things. The gospel two things is you need to inquire, and that inquiry comes in the if you are a Christian, in the place of prayer. But if you're not a Christian, whatever you want to consult mediums. Now, why do I say this? Do you know, before I always think that things just happen. And my little exposure to marine and to some other things, that I've seen some funny, unconventional rituals, in quotes, by even the West, in some things that you do. I'm like, how person go break gin for sheep, you know? How person go pour snuff, you know? Those are some funny things that are not conventional, right? But these are things that happen even in the work environment. So this just basically understand that we are this cosmos we find ourselves has energy levels. That's what we talk about quantum. I think you're a science person, but if you look at if you study quantum physics, you find out that there are energy levels. There are levels, even as you are. There are energy levels around you that needs, some may be positive, some may be negative, you know, and you just need to see how you can neutralize some effects that may come your way, and you see how you navigate your way. And sometimes by divine orchestration, you see yourself experience quantum that will be like a springboard that will take you from 0 level to 100 level that even you cannot explain. Even the whole Lagos Business School, no matter what you call all the Harvard methodologies may not really work. You see yourself in an unexplainable situation or stage of your life as a result of the quantum leap that you have experienced. So never give up, keep pushing, rework, stay focused, and keep praying. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer Williams. If you could permit me to add, yes.
Please, go ahead.
Okay. This person says, where does one draw the line between the resilience and changing the course? I think, first of all, before you hit the course, it's good to be sure or to know where you are going. For those who do spatial aeronautic science, engineering, okay, they can tell you that if you are targeting the moon, let's say you target to leave the Earth to go to the moon, and it is said that just a 1 degree mistake in setting the cap for the rocket as it's flying, you can end up landing somewhere else rather than landing on the moon.
Very true.
And you can say 1 degree is very small. Yes, it's 1 degree is small, but as the further you go, 1 degree away from your target can end up becoming something like 15 degrees away from your target. It is very small, but with compound effects, with compounded time, with years, it's going. So that's why at the beginning, it's always good to clarify your thoughts, clarify the direction of your life, like he said, so that you're not resilient in the wrong thing. And there are several ways in which you can know. Yes, Engineer William talks about prayer. Yes, of course, that is one way. there are also other ways in which you can know, hey, this is really what I was called for. You in life, you're not really called to blow or something like that. You are called to fulfill. It's something called fulfillment. You need to live fulfillment, because the money will come and go, but you die in peace if you know you lived a fulfilled life and you've impacted the people you need to impact. And that's why many people on their dying beds, you ask them, would you live your life like this a second time? What you did with your life? And they tell you, I have a lot of regrets. I know I'm going, but I have a lot of regrets. When a man is talking like that, when he's close to going, it means that he didn't set the cap. He didn't set his target very well. So how do you know? First of all, yes, you have prayers. Two, you also have people around you that can help you. Things you love to do, things you do with a passion, things your friends, your parents can tell you, hey, right from when you grow, this is what you've been doing. There are times you have that personality, you have the temperament, to be able to do it. There are things that come naturally to you. You don't struggle. A fish doesn't struggle to swim. The bird doesn't struggle to fly in the air. But when you you try to make a change, ask a bird to swim in the ocean and ask a fish to fly in the air. And you're now going to see that they would struggle, if you see what I mean. They would struggle. It doesn't mean that all of them were all created for motion and for movement, but they were created for motion and movement in let's call it, in an atmosphere, so to speak. It's like asking a train to move on our expressway. Our expressway is not built for train. The train will get stuck. But I tell you, put a car on a train track, the train will crush that car. The car may be 200 million. It may be a bulletproof car. But as long as the train is on the train track, it's a question of nothing can stop it, if you see what I mean. So know the direction of your life. What area am I packaged? We already come into this world loaded, pre-packaged. Actually, you're not discovering destiny. Actually, destiny has actually discovered you before you came to this world. The question is, how are you going to discover that area in which you are called to walk in? And there is no use competing or comparing yourself with someone else. You get it? If your lot is to move something from point A to point B, you do that and leave this world a fulfilled person. Make the maximum impact in the lives of others. And that way you will see that you will be fulfilled, if you see what I mean. And at the end of the day, you would have made an impact in the lives of others. I hope we've been able to help you on the difference between resilience and changing course. I will end it by telling you a worry proverb. I no go gree, na in the tear shirt. So when you say I no go gree and you start I no go gree, you begin tear shirt. You can be tearing shirts in the wrong places. But when you know this is where God wants you to be, your life tells you, your passion tells you, even annoyance tells you. There are things you are annoyed about. Hey, this is not an area for me. And that way you just choose that area, you focus on it, give it 100%, commitment, and that way you go. So let's not behave like Alaba International Markets people. They say electronics is moving now. Okay, I move from electronics, I go into Bendam Boutique. I move from Bendam Boutique, I go into something else. No, that's not how you're supposed to live life. Your life is too precious to live that way. I'll end by telling you that God's gift for you is the life which you have. But your gift to God is how you live that life that God has given you. I repeat, God's gift to you is that life you have. It's a gift, if you understand what I mean. Nobody said that you will be in this world. After all, when a man meets a woman, there are millions of sperm cells that are released at the same time. 10 million, 100 million. But out of the million, you are the only one who came out of your mother's womb. It means 999 or 1,000 or 99 million. They didn't come out, but you came out from your mother's womb. So you've already started the journey by conquering millions of sperm cells that didn't exist into this world. Now you've shown up on the scene. Now you are on the stage of life. Find out what God wants you to do and put your life in that direction. You get it? So that I no go gree, no go tear shirt. I hope that way it has helped you. Thank you. let's see. Do we have any other questions? Okay. There are no questions I see in the chat box.